Hello, I'm Sandra and welcome to the Cherry Heart podcast. We're on episode number 12 now, because I actually looked for once. And thank you for joining me. Thank you for coming back if you're a returning viewer, and thank you for trying me out if you're new here today. I haven't podcasted for a while. And once again, everything feels all unnatural and strange and weird. And I'm also, what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. I've done another little experimental setup with the podcast. I can't find anything that's working for me. I can get sound to work, or I can get picture to work well, but I can't get them both to work well together. So we'll try this today and see how this works. So let's get stuck into it, because it's easier once you're actually talking about something rather than just sitting here and going, I don't know what to say. Oh, I know what I can say. You'll find the show notes for this blog for this podcast even, on my blog, which is www.cherryheart.co.uk. You can find my blog there and my pattern shop and all that kind of thing, and links to social media, and find me on Ravelry through there as well. So there's a Ravelry group, which is Cherry Heart's Cozy Corner, and I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, all of those things. I'll put little links, I'll write them down at the end for you. But anyway, let's get into it, let's get started. So first section is what I've been working on. Well, it's sort of a socks / whips I've put, because all that I've got in progress at the moment really is socks. And all that I've been working on lately is the Painted Roses blanket, because I'm doing another one. I'm doing a bigger one to go over our bed, so it's a nice big double bed size one. So I've been working on that for ages, it feels like. So I've been making good progress and I've finished it. Hooray! But it does mean I haven't got a lot else going on at the minute. But anyway, waffle, let's start. Let's begin with my socks. This is in my little project bag that I made, that I blogged about, well, probably ages ago now, but a little while ago. I'll link to the post if you're interested. Okay, so anyway, socks. Sorry, I'm in a tangle. So I made some socks, I think, were they on the last podcast or the one before last? Not sure. Anyway, I made them with the rainbow yarn, Rainbow Sprinkles, I think it was called. Is that right? No, Rainbow Sherbet by Kate Celine. Hello, we've got a little kitty visitor. He's gonna jump. Oh, see, that was him. And that set off the dog. Oh, joyful. Right, animals, get off the video area. Okay, we'll see how it goes. They might settle down, they may not, and we may have to stop and deal with them. Yeah, so my socks, here they are. Yeah, what was I saying? Oh my god, I've completely lost the thread. Yeah, I made some a little while ago out of the Rainbow Sherbet by Kate Celine, and I just made to my own pattern. But what I wanted to do was write up that pattern. I talked about it, the idea of writing up that pattern with a sort of a how to knit socks type element to it. So it wasn't just a straightforward, you know, do this, ta-da, there's socks. I was just going to do a bit more of like a beginner's sock pattern. That's what I'm stumbling to try and say. So if you've never knit a pair of socks before, hopefully this would be a really good, nice, easy one that would sort of help you along the way. So I've started writing it, and I've started doing another pair of socks so I can sort of take photos as I go and test the pattern out and so on. So I've started that process, so here it is. Wire's in the way. I've done it on a plainer yarn this time, so you can hopefully sort of see what's going on a bit more. It's a very simple pattern, fairly simple indeed, and I'm just sort of using, I'm writing it as I would make a pair of socks, or using my sort of favourite methods mostly. So it's got like a 2x2 rib, and I've put in the bind. Oh my word, I really can't talk, can I? I'm putting in the cast on that I use and things like that. So it's not going to be like a complete photo tutorial, because otherwise, you know, it'd be about 1,000,000 pages long. It would be ridiculous. But I am trying to put in lots of helpful photos of sort of the key points, mainly around the heel, because that's the tricky bit, isn't it? It's sort of cast on, knitting around, and that's fine up until the heel, and then it starts to get a bit, you know, it can be a little hard to visualise the first time you do it. I think it's not that it's complicated to do, and it's not that patterns don't explain it well. It's once you know the process, it's quite simple. It's just, you know, I'm going to try and walk you through the process a little bit more with a little bit more help than you might get normally. That's the idea anyway. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, so I'm knitting these on my knit things at the moment, because that's what I knit the first pair on, and I wanted to see if I can, you know, make sure the gauge is coming up nicely and consistently and so on. But yeah, what have I got to say about that? Oh, I'll tell you what the wool is as well. This is on 2.5, which again, I must find out the American sizes. I don't know what they are, I'm afraid. It's on 2.5 needles. I don't think it says on these. No, it doesn't tell you anything. Completely silent on the subject. So this is wool barn yarn. Now when I did my test I had trouble focusing, so I think if I don't hold it up too, see, it focuses on me and it don't seem to change. Anyway, it's the wool barn. And she's not on Etsy anymore, she's got her own site, woolbarn.com. And this is her luxury sock. Oh my god, it is luxurious. It's an MCN, so it's merino, cashmere and nylon, in the colourway light blue speckles, which is apt because it is light blue and it is slightly speckled. But so soft, so plump, so squishy. It's actually got quite a halo on it, which I don't know if this will pick up. I mean, you know, just a little bit, because... But yeah, so I don't know how well they'll wear. I imagine they might get a bit fluffy looking and a bit worn looking quite soon, because I'm making socks out of them. And I am hard on my socks, but we will see. But it's gorgeous to work with. It's going to be gorgeous to wear, so it's worth it as far as I'm concerned. So that's that, and my other socks that I've got on my go, which I'm alternating between at the minute because I'm going to knit a bit of my socks. I don't know, I haven't got a name for them yet. I'm knitting a bit of that, and then I'm going to have to stop and wait for light and take photos and things, and then knit to the next stage. So in between doing that, I have made, oh, I meant to bring the sock blocker up. Oh, I forgot. I've made another sock, which is this one. Looks so pretty. I haven't blocked it yet, as you can see, so it's perhaps not. There we go, stretch it out. Yellow never comes up well on these things, does it? That's better colour. Yeah, this is the Wildflowers and Honeycomb pattern, I think, and it's by Olivia Villarreal, maybe. But it's such a pretty pattern, and I saw Sam of Betsy Makes had it on her Instagram feed, and she posted a pic of hers, and I just saw this heel, and I haven't lit this heel. Isn't that amazing? It's so pretty, and look, the sort of strands are going across the outside instead of the inside. So that's unusual. I've never done one quite like that before, but I love that. So pretty. It took me a little while to get the hang of the pattern, the flow of it. I kept going wrong. And I haven't I have not knit any lacy socks for a long time, so that makes a nice change. So I've made a few modifications because I've changed the cast on and the ribbing, because I did it as per the pattern and it was a twisted rib, and oh, it was really twisting round and it just was annoying me and I wasn't enjoying it. And I'm sure it would have blocked out fine. I probably should have just left it because it would have looked pretty, but I didn't. So I undid it, did it again with a more normal cuff. Got to, oh, well up here, realised I'd done it wrong, went back again, did it again. This is what happens. This, I hasten to add, this is not the fault of the pattern, it is the fault of the user entirely. I look at it and go, yeah, I know what I'm doing. And then I knit it and go, oh, hang on a minute, this don't seem right. Check the pattern. Oh no, I don't know what I'm doing at all. Do it again. So yeah, so even though I checked the pattern again, I thought, oh right, it's the gaps again. It's doing the just normal rows between the pattern. I've been caught that way before. So I thought, oh right, yeah, redid it. And then I got even further this time. I thought, do you know what, that's still not right. I still haven't done quite enough normal rows in between. But there's no way in heck I was going to go back and do it a fourth time. So I thought, oh, I'll just do a few more repeats. It's all good. So that's what I have done. So yeah, it seemed to go, well obviously this bit went slow because I did it 3 times. And the heel took me a little while because I wasn't familiar with this bit. But then once I got past the heel I just went, did all the rest of it in about one night I think. Zoomed through. Fabulous. And I also, another modification is I changed the toe. I think it had a star toe. You know, when you have increases sort of just round, which I don't mind, I quite like that, but I wanted to leave it plain so it didn't detract from this pattern. And I kind of know this toe off by heart, so I just shoved that one in. A bit of laziness on my part again really, but you know. So these ones were knit. I knit the cuff on 2.5 because I know what fits me on the cuff, and then I swapped down to 2.25, which is what the pattern recommends and what I needed to get this bit to fit nicely. And this wool is lovely wool barn again, having a little wool barn fest at the moment. So I love Maya's yarns so much. She's so, I don't know, I just love her aesthetic. And annoyingly, she's become so popular now, it's quite hard to get hold of her yarns. She sells out so quickly. Damn her talent. Damn her talent and popularity and brilliance. But yeah, love that. So this is, oh, hang on, I'm gonna have to find it for you. This is her tough sock, I think she calls it. Strong sock. And it's 100, oh no, it's not 100% wool. It's a wool nylon blend. Sorry, I'm just trying to peer into the ball so I don't have to pull the middle bit. 75% superwash wool and 25% nylon. And this is called the Cupcake Sprinkles colourway, which is cute. Cute name. And this one feels, especially after the contrast of working on that one and it being so plump and squidgy and soft and bouncy and yummy to work with. I do love a merino sock. I know it doesn't wear as well as some of the tougher ones, but I do love it. So this one is quite a, it's called Strong Sock. It's made to be tougher. So it's a lot more sort of woolly, and it's a lot, well, I don't know if it's actually thinner or if it's just the, you know, the lack of plumpness to the yarn. But yeah, it almost feels sort of hard and quite harsh in comparison to that other one. But the colourway is just gorgeous. And it is lovely, and they'll probably last longer, so it's probably much better all round. But yeah, I am a bit partial to a plump merino, I have to say. Yeah, so that's nice. So I'm looking forward to sort of working on the second one of them in between my other socks, so that will be good. And that's all I've really got on the go actively at the moment, but I want to start doing some more sock blanket. I actually forgot about this because I finished my painted roses and I thought, oh, what shall I do now? And then I kind of started doing the my sock pattern just because I thought, oh well, I haven't really got anything else to do, or I haven't got anything else in mind that I desperately want to do, and I haven't had a sock on the go for a few weeks. Oh my god, I need to do a sock. So I cast those two on, And then remembered, oh, I could have done my sock blanket. I've got, you know, I've had a swap now. I've done lots of, I've got lots of lovely new minis in. Could have worked on that. So that was a bit of a shame. I didn't think of that at a more relevant time. But, and now I'm into those. I'm kind of in the zone with those. So, but I shall come back to it soon. Cause, oh, purse. Sorry. Come here. Don't jump on the video table. You rock everything. You going to say hello while you're here? No. No, I'm not. I'm going to be antisocial. Alright, thank you. Yes, thank you for getting in the way. Right, anyway, let's try and persevere. So, right, he's pleasing himself. I haven't done too much since I last spoke about it. I think I've only added like this one, this one, this one and this one, I think. That's from my skedaddle socks that I made. Another wool barn yarn. I'm obsessed. And this one I got in my swap with Himiko. And that one I already had. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to getting back to that. But the reason why I particularly wanted to mention this time is because I was contacted on Ravelry by Lisa, who is Life Full of Laugh on Ravelry. And she started a group a while ago, I believe, and it's called Sock Yarn Swappers. So that's a Ravelry group, Sock Yarn Swappers. And what they do is basically they just have swap loads of minis, swap loads of sock yarns. Oh, if only I'd known about that sooner. Yeah, so she was contacting me and sort of saying about the group and would it be of any interest and would I perhaps mention it? And I was like, yes, it would. Well, actually, at the moment, I've got quite a lot of minis. I've done quite a few swaps and I've built up quite a repertoire to be getting on with. So I'm good for the moment. But once I've worked through all that lot, we'll see how much blanket there still is to go. So I might well make use of it. But what's interesting about it, as well as just being a really good place to find swaps, and you can swap internationally and just sign up for different ones and things like that. So that's really handy to know. As well as that, they also do what they call a swapless swap. So I thought this was such a good idea. So instead of swapping with someone else, because you might not have any minis, you might just be starting and think, well, I've only got 3 of my own, you know, and I need to build some up before I can actually do a swap with another person. So you can sign up to the swapless swap, and I think you sort of pay a certain amount, and then they get all kinds of different bits of yarns and split them all up into minis and send them all out. So you can sort of have a sort of little, it's a great starting point. Or if you've just worked through them and, you know, you need a top up, it's just such a great idea for a place to get started. And also, you know, they'll have different independent dyers contribute to it, so it's a good way of getting to know other people, you know, dyers that you can try and just try new yarns. Sounds like a great idea. So I think I will hopefully be doing that once I've yeah, worked through my current stash, which I must admit has got quite substantial, so that is good. But yeah, so that's Sock Yarn Swappers on Ravelry, and I'll link it in the show notes. And that's it for what I'm working on at the moment. So let's move on to finished objects, or objects even, which is an actual word. So before the holidays, these are both, no they're not. So before the holidays, as I was saying, I was knitting a little, it's all knitting, this is supposed to be a crochet podcast. Crochet coming soon. I was knitting a little fluffy, I don't know, poncho I suppose you'd call it. So it goes over my shoulders, it's got no sleeves. I guess it's a poncho. I had this idea, I don't know when it came to me, but just a sort of fluffy white little sort of short, I've got another hand down here you can't see, sort of just on the waist, maybe a little above sort of length poncho. And I had a sort of, sometimes you have an idea and it's not really, well, I don't know, perhaps you're a bit more organised than me and a bit more well thought out, but sometimes my ideas are very sort of vague and I kind of have to experiment a bit and see what way they end up going, or perhaps how they should work out will come to me after the initial idea, but sometimes, just occasionally, it will just go bam, straight into my head, exactly how I, you know, want it to turn out, and then I have to kind of make that picture happen, because I've had the picture and it's nice and clear, and quite often it's a fuzzy picture or it's got gaps and things. So when that happens, like this, I've got to, yeah, find a way to make that happen. So I knew it had to be a fluffy yarn. I wanted it to be quite chunky, and I wanted it to be preferably knit, and I wanted it to be have this sort of feature on the front, so it had this sort of bit that you could scrunch it up, just to make a bit of interest, just so it wasn't just a band of so it sort of had a bit of a feature to it. Sorry, to break it up a bit. So that was the image, and this is the result. Is it all fitting in? There you go. Look, it's pretty much exactly as I imagined. There's certainly the sort of little capey bit, it's the fluffiness. Let's see if I can get some fluff on there. Oh yeah, look, you can see that. I didn't bring the ball bands, I just remembered for these, which is going to be annoying. Yeah, the fluffiness worked out just well. It's nice and chunky, just like I wanted. The only thing I'm not 100% clear on is this. So I did the flower, which I quite liked. I wanted a flower, and sort of so it could ruche these bits up, I believe is the word. So you could pull this up and it would scrunch that up to sort of make a bit of a detail, but I'm not quite sure. I've crossed them over to thread it through, just to create a little bit of interest. Oh, holding this up here. Let's hold it up here. And then I've got this bow at the bottoms, which I'm not completely convinced about this bit. I don't know, if you scrunch it all the way up, then you can't see the bits and it just looks like a disjointed flower with a bow below for no particular reason. And if you had them sticking out in the middle, it kind of looks a bit wrong. So that bit didn't work out exactly right. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I'm not quite sure about that. Maybe it should thread through and back up so the bow's just underneath, but it still scrunches up. I don't know. But it was one of those kind of fluky projects all round, really, because not only did the idea just come straight in there, no effort, excellent. It actually, how do you say, I'd say I'm winging it. I winged it. I wung it. I don't know how to conjugate winging it, if that's the correct terminology. I'm waffling. This may be cut. There's lots of this that may be cut. Start again. Right, what was I saying? Yeah, so the way it worked out was quite fluky. I cast on... No, I'm going to go back. Start again. The wool I used for this, the yarn I used for this, is two held together. So it's two Rico Design yarns. And I can't remember the name of either of them, which is really annoying. I'll put it in the show notes though, in case you do want to know. But there's basically a sort of a smoother, possibly some acrylic in it. But it's quite soft and bouncy all the same, yarn of some description. And then a really fluffy mohair. I think it might have been Essentials mohair actually, Rico Essentials mohair and Rico something else. Some sort of chunky yarn to be inserted later. Yeah, so I held those together. So I wasn't quite sure, obviously, what the gauge would be of them together. So I just guessed. I sort of just cast on sort of what I thought, spread it around the needles, thought, oh, that looks about right. And then I kind of just did increases, yay, you know, as I thought. And somehow, by just sheer damn luck, it worked out perfectly. And it fits nicely and... I love it. I really do love it. I haven't actually worn it yet. I was going to attempt to put it on for you. Let's see if I can do that without... It's been hanging up, and I guess I've been sort of thinking, right, I've got to take pictures and I've got to show people. Well, I've got to take pictures and I wanted to show you on here before it got too mucky and horrible. So there you go. See how it just fits on, sits on the shoulders nicely, scoops down quite nicely. And also if I stand up a bit, ooh, there you are, just sort of on the arm fold, you know, so it doesn't get in the way. You can still move your arms around. Yeah, I'm very happy with that. I think you know, I could ruche it up a bit more. I think I have this a bit more in there this time. Yeah, it's just this bit I don't know. Might need work. Might need to re-thread it so the bow's underneath. Maybe it's just a bit twee with the bow. Maybe I should just forget the bow. I don't know. But I'm not that fussed about it because I'm so happy with how this came out, and I quite like that it's just got a pretty little flower on it. And the rest of it, I don't know, it was just one of those sort of quite fun, oh, can I do that? Oh yes, I pretty much can, that's cool. So I'm just quite happy with it. It's nice and snug actually, I haven't worn it yet, so this is, I'm keeping it on, it's nice. Right, so that's that. And then what else have we got to talk about? Oh yes, you know about this already if you read the blog, I've posted about it, but I just wanted to show you it quickly, sort of in the, not in the flesh, but you know what I mean. So it's the Grannie Goes Large Blanket. Sorry, I keep coughing. I seem to have had a cold that wasn't really a cold and I've gone straight to the cough stage. Yeah, so anyway, the Grannie Goes Large Blanket, I wanted to just quickly show you. What I'm trying to do is go back through some of my previous blanket patterns, particularly the free ones, and just see if I can make them a little bit more organised, because I'd kind of, you know, a few years ago when I was making some of these, I'd kind of just pick up any old yarn in the colours I wanted. Well, not any old, but more or less. You know, not worrying about fibre content so much. I'd generally sort of stick to a yarn weight, although not always. It depended what I could get the colours in, because colour was the thing, you know, it had to be the colours that I wanted, and if I couldn't get, well, I could very rarely get, I still struggle with it, I very rarely find a range of, you know, a particular yarn that's got enough colours that I can pull out the colours that I want to use, that I want to put together. So I would generally just go to other brands and get other things to get the colours I wanted. So what I would like to do, long story short, too late, is sort of go back and just see if I can make a bit more sense of that and sort of make it a bit more cohesive and simple, because some of you have very kindly said, oh, I'd like to do the same colours as you've done, and I've gone, oh, we have to order this one from here and this one from here and this one from here, and people don't want to do that. You know, you've got to pay the postage from different places if you can't happen to get it from the same place. Nightmare forward. So the fun of it is I get to play with colours. So I've got my little Stylecraft little yarn cards out, and I can match them up, and it's quite interesting. You can get pretty close on most things now. There's some difficult areas, there's still some gaps as far as I'm concerned in the Stylecraft, the special range, but it is getting close to sort of, you know, fulfilling all my needs, as it were. But anyway, oh, so much waffle. I do apologise. So here it is in the flesh. The Grannie Goes Large. Let's see how the colours come up. There we go. This is my living room blanket, and it's been in there since it was made. It kind of, I've got duck egg blue and golds in the living room, and it picks up some of the colours from the cushions in there that I've made and things. So I wanted it to be not too loud and rioty and just bright, full on in your face colour, because that just wouldn't have gone, it wouldn't have looked right in there. So I wanted something a bit more subtle, a bit more faded, but you know, still interesting, basically. Still interesting colours. So this was the colours I came up with. You know, it's got that kind of, what's the word, I wanted it to be a bit vintagey, as I quite often do. Faded and vintagey and sort of a bit softer and what's the word? Slightly eclectic colours. I didn't want it to be too sort of matchy and samey. I wanted it to be a bit slightly unexpected combinations in there. So that's what I came up with. And this is the version made using just the Starcraft Special. So I only did a little bit. I didn't go the whole blanket hog, so you can't get the sort of true effect. But what I did like is the sort of how well, let's see if we can get this to line up, the sort of the basic colours worked. So I can get that to open out a bit more. Oh goodness me, behave, naughty blanket. So that's the original here, and that's the copy. So they kind of work quite well. So that one's a bit brighter. Ooh. But overall, really not too bad. And obviously I haven't stuck because I'd used this colour down here, so then I went off onto a different tangent. But from there, where the colours are the same, they're really not bad. And this is a little bit brighter and bolder than this one, which was a Hayfield or Sirdar bonus DK. I think it was their Air Force colour, and there just isn't that sort of grey blue in the Starcraft at all. That's about as close as I get, which is the denim. I could have gone Storm Blue, but I felt this kept more the feel of the original, which is what I was going for, to sort of capture the same feel. Yeah, so I've put the Starcraft only colours up on the blog now, so that if you did want to make one like that, it's just a lot easier for you now to get what you need and get started, which is good. And I also did a little thing about, because when you're making granny squares, I get asked about this quite a lot actually, so it must be a common problem, is they tend to go a bit wonky if you're not careful. I don't have too much problem with it. I do get a bit of drift, especially on something sort of bigger like this, that will start to twizzle slightly. But if you're not careful, the corners will start to go and travel round. It sort of spirals like that as you make it. So I've put some tips on the blog as well about sort of stopping that happening and how to keep them nice and square. Because you don't want your granny going wonky, do you? No one wants that. So yeah, I just thought I'd mention that on here as well, because I don't know that everyone that watches this necessarily reads the blog and vice versa. Who's got time for all these things? No one, probably. Not many of you. We're all so busy, aren't we? So that was that. And this is marching on now, so I really should speed up a bit. Let's pop this back over here. And the other thing I wanted to say was, or the next section I suppose, and the other thing. So the next section is goodies, incoming goodies. And oh, I've been so lucky lately. You kind, wonderful people out there in the world. Oh, you are so good and sweet and generous. And I've been a very lucky girl, so let's just crack on with it. First of all, I got this bag from my clever and talented little friend, Betsy Makes. I saw this bag, I think she showed it on her podcast. Did I tell you that she did a podcast? I'm not sure if I mentioned that already. If I haven't, you must go and check it out, because I'm so excited that she started a podcast too, because she crochets and she knits and she sews and she's very, very talented. But it's just so nice to have someone else that crochets podcasting as well, because I just find it interesting. I have found a couple of others. I've talked about this before, so I won't go into it again in case you are returning. But if you're new, and if I never mentioned it before, go and check out Sam's podcast. She's Betsy Makes is her blog. I think she's still .blogspot.co.uk. But anyway, if you search Betsy Makes, she will come up. And yeah, you can watch her podcast, and she's just lovely. She's just such a sweetie. You can see for yourselves. Anyway, back to the point. She showed this on her podcast, I believe, or I saw it on her Instagram, and I was like, oh, have you got any of that fabric left? Because that's lovely. I love the stags. And she said, yeah, go on then. I'll make you one. Because she's an absolute darling. So I got my stag bag. which is good. But anyway, yes, she put this key ring in. I just thought that's so cute. I hope that's gonna be a thing that you can get with them. They're so cute, and they make such a good zipper pull. It didn't come on there, but I thought, oh, perfect for that. Yeah. So this is just one of her normal project bags. It's not a sock one, so it hasn't got the little sock thing in, but it is a lovely huge size. I haven't used this yet either, because I've only got my little projects on the go. But when I do next do something a little bit bigger, this is the bag I will be using because I love it. So then so that I actually did get, although, but these next things I've been sent, which was very nice. So sorry, I'm just trying to get this to balance so that I can actually speak to you. Let's get the bits out. I've just put them in here just to be a bit more economical with space, because the desk was starting to overflow now that I've shown you the stag bag. So I was talking to Heather of Pink Milk. You probably know of her blog as well, I should think. I think she's just pinkmilk.co.uk now. Again, Google search will find her. And I'll link these people. I'll link Sam and I'll link Heather as well. So you'll be able to find them. Easy peasy. But yeah, we were talking about needles. And she was saying that in her new shop, because she's going to open a shop, people, how exciting is that? God, I wish she lived closer to me. She's been showing little sneaky pictures on Instagram and things sometimes, and oh my God, I'm so excited for her. I just want to go up there and see it. It's not, I don't think she's open yet. I think she was planning to open sort of towards the end of this month, so I have to find a way to go up there and visit her, because I mean, yarn shops anyway, you don't really need an excuse, but it's going to be so exciting to see what she's got. She's got lovely, well, if you've seen her blog, you know she's got lovely taste, and I'm sure she's going to get fabulous stuff, so it's going to be really, it'd be a really good one to check out, and yeah, it's going to be fab. Anyway, back to the point, yet again. If I could stick to a point, this thing would be a lot shorter. So we were talking about carbons. That's Knit Pro, or is it Knitter's Pride in the US? Yeah. Knit Pro carbons, because I was sort of saying, oh, I'd never tried them and I didn't fancy them for several reasons, and she was saying, oh, well, actually, I'm going to be stocking these, so, you know, I'd be interested to see what you think of them. So she sent me some to try. So these are 2.5 Knit Pro carbons, and I've been using them, and I have to say, I do actually quite like them. I'm quite surprised. I kind of made up my mind that I wasn't going to try any, because, you know, I just didn't really sort of like the idea of them very much, and I know people have raved about them, but I was like, I don't know, I don't think they're going to be for me. But I've tried them, and yeah, they are actually quite nice. So I'll probably talk about these a little bit more, because what I want to do is a sock needle review, because I've got quite a lot of the different sorts now, so I thought I could compare them for you and talk about them. So I'll probably talk about them a little bit more when I do that, which will hopefully be soon, hopefully. But yeah, so she sent me those, which was extremely kind of her in the first place. But she also sent me, when she sent the parcel, some other bits, because just bless her, what a love. Absolute lovely girl. So she sent me a gorgeous little notebook. Lovely papering, so that's gorgeous. And she sent me in tulip Etimo hook, and these are my favourite crochet hooks. I don't use anything else. In fact, I was thinking the other day of, seriously thinking the other day of buying a second one of my, you know, the hook sizes I use most, because if I can't, like, if I lose one, when I can't find it, when I drop it down the side of the sofa or do something else stupid with it, it's a nightmare. I have to go back to one of my old sort of stick horrible ones, and oh, nothing's the same. These, nothing beats these for me. I know other people like different things, but for me they're just the ultimate perfect thing. I love them. And she also sent me a couple of other things as well, but she also sent me some of these little washes. Look, is it Euclid? Is that how you say it? One's Raptor. I'm not quite sure how you say it, but you know the one, the famous one that everyone talks about. So I've never tried any of these actual soaks before, so that'll be interesting. So I'm gonna, when I block my wildflower and honeycomb socks, I'm going to use one of these. So I've got a jasmine and a grapefruit, so that'd be lovely. And she also sent me, look, this tiny little mini, isn't it the cutest? And I love crochet, and I do. I could put it on here. I love crochet badge as well. Yeah, so that was just so sweet. Thank you, Heather. I so appreciate that. And I've got a plan for this as well. I've got a project in mind, so that'll be just the job. So that was that, and then who else was very kind to me? Brenda was very kind to me. I was talking to Brenda on Ravelry. She's W Brend on Ravelry, and she wanted to do a swap with me for some minis, and I just didn't have anything at the time. I was completely out and needed some myself, so I sort of said, oh well, you know, we'll do a swap a bit later when I've built some up again. So once I've started working on that, I shall get some minis to you, Brenda. But so we were chatting on Ravelry, and she said, oh, I made this project bag, you know, that's what she was going to swap with me. So anyway, when I sort of said, oh, that's so lovely, but you know, it will take me a little bit of time to get some minis up because I haven't got any in a minute, but you know, I do appreciate the offer, kind of thing. What would turn up in the post a little while later, but the gorgeous project bag she made for me. She sent it anyway. Isn't that gorgeous? So this one is just a really huge, lovely size bag. It's even bigger than the stag. So whereas you could fit maybe, I don't know, 2 or 3 balls in there or something, you could fit quite a few of these in here, 5 or 6 or so. So that's, if I was the sort of person that made jumpers, which I very rarely do, that would fit in there nicely. So yeah, so it's ever so cute. You can see that it's got little button details and lace, and of course cherries, because I do like a cherry. And she also included some lovely things inside. A little Valentine's heart pouch. It's so cute. It's like felted. And then, excuse crinkles, some other lovely bits. See some felted hearts. Oh look, some little treats for Bertie. Poor chap hasn't actually had them yet because I was keeping everything together, so I had it ready to show you. He hadn't had a look in. I can give him some now and then. And some heart stickers, which will be good for something else I'll show you in a mo. Some little clips. And look at these. These are cute. Look, little dash hound, little sticky note things. And there's houses as well. Oh, the little dash hound ones. How adorable is that? Or dachshund, as I should say, I suppose. And then she just sent me a little postcard as well. So when I do mine, swap to her, I'll have to see if I can find a postcard for here around here, but I'm not sure you get postcards around here. I kind of live Blarville, nowhere particularly special, so yes, so thank you very much, Brenda. That was quite unexpected and really lovely. So I very much appreciate that, and I love the bag and the bits you sent me. So thank you. And then last of all, the hot topic of the moment is my planner. There seem to be a lot of people talking about these lately. This is my sister's font. My sister got one. Look, mine's huge. I'll show you. It's huge. It's got a little tassel on it. Hers is smaller, sort of like a bit more of a normal Filofax size. And she was showing me all the bits inside it, and I was like, oh, it's so exciting. And she ordered it on Etsy. I forget who she got hers from. I was like, oh man, I've got to get one of those. That's so much fun. So it's got, I've got years of the month in. I'm not going to, I'll show you what the pages or anything, but it's got, this is my preferred calendar style, where you've got a whole month so you can plan things out. But you've got loads of other different sections in here for lists and things. It's just got all these pretty pages in. It's got to-do lists there, and you can just have you know, plain paper, and it has got week view as well, diary in there. and just inspirational and pretty pages that you can scatter throughout. I haven't arranged or spent any time on this yet or done anything with it. I'm hoping to get that menu page, isn't it? So you can plan your menu, and I think there's a notepad bit in here. What have we got here? Sketches. Maybe, yeah, might put sketches in there. And then just weeks, you can separate things up by weeks. Yeah, so I'm getting my planner on. I am a girl that does love a little bit of organisation. What's this? Yeah, there's just the plain notes. And so I saw that and it was just, oh. See, I do like computer organisation because it's portable. You know, I can have it on my phone and sync it with whatever device I'm using it. And it does work best for me, really. But you don't get the joy of writing anything down or having the tactileness or pretty things to play with and coloured pens and sticking washi tape in and all that fun stuff. You don't get that with a digital sort of organisation system, do you? That's the one thing it does lack, is the sort of that fun element. And I'm a bit of a stationery buff, as many of you probably are as well. It seems to be a common theme. Yarn people and stationery people. There's quite an overlap in that Venn diagram. Yeah, so I've been sort of getting into that. So I've got quite a few washi tapes and I've ordered some bits and bobs for it. And I just want to show you these cute little stickers I got. Look at these. Oh, little tabs. So adorable. Sort of little, you know, to-do checks. You can put things in there or make little appointment punctuations. Just general little cute stickers. I have these a lot in planner things. I'm not quite sure what they are. Just sort of blocks of different colour or different pattern things. I don't know if you're supposed to write on them or they're just to fill space to make it look pretty. Don't know quite what they're for. But yeah. But I got all these cute, adorable little things from Sea Salt and Paper on Etsy. And there's quite a lot of people on Etsy, but she just had sort of some particularly lovely things. And so I ordered just a couple of these bits. And sort of waited, because I ordered it around Easter, so I thought, oh, it would take a while, and the sort of journal that I ordered came, so that was fine, and a couple of the other bits came. And these didn't turn up, so I sort of contacted her and sort of said, oh, I know it's quite, you know, it hasn't been weeks and weeks yet, but they haven't turned up, you know, I don't suppose we can track it or anything. And she said, oh, I'll send you out another parcel, that's okay, and I'll put a few bits in for you. I just thought that's so good, isn't it? It's such good service. It's so generous of her. So I thought I would just sort of say, you know, mention her shop, Sea Salt and Paper, and just sort of say, you know, I really appreciate that when you sort of buy from people on Etsy, when they do sort of take the time to sort of make sure you're happy. And, you know, I'm definitely going back there now, aren't I? Because I'm so happy with that, and it's just reinstalled you, sort of, it gives you confidence that, well, I know if I go there and there's a problem, she'll take care of it for me. So yeah, I just think that's, I don't know, I just wanted to recommend her shop because I think that kind of customer service I appreciate, and I'm pretty sure you probably appreciate it too. And one more, just last thing that I want to mention is that in the Ravelry group, which is Cherry Heart's Cozy Corner, I've started a little thread which is like a Cherry Heart crochet along, knit along thread. So I just thought, a couple of people have contacted me recently about crochet alongs they wanted to do. I think someone in South Africa is doing just a little bit of a workshop about the Spice of Life thing that she contacted me about a while ago. And I was also contacted by, I just want to get the blog name work. Yeah, Marie Lynn of Le Blog Purple. I'm not sure I'm saying that wrong. Le Blog Purple. In France, and she's doing a crochet along. It's quite a big crochet along. I think she's got quite a lot of projects on because it's on from April to, I haven't written it down, but September I think it was, 8th of April to 8th of September if I remember correctly. So she's doing lots of sort of different little projects. But anyway, she's featuring my Rosie Posy square. So she's translated it into French, and she's also done a chart which was very clever of her, which she said I could use. So I just wanted to kind of have a place where, not that there's going to be hundreds of them, it'll probably be a reasonably quiet thread, but just if anyone is sort of using one of my patterns for a crochet along or a knit along, that, you know, you could go there and see what was going on at the minute, because obviously the spice of life has sort of carried on and is a continuous thing. And some people have started doing the Grannie Goes Large Blanket, so we've opened a thread for that. So I've just got a little thread that mention any other sort of little bits of what's the word, you know, that you could join, crochet along or knit along, that you could join in with if you were interested, and just somewhere to sort of promote them, because if someone is using one of my patterns, you know, has contacted me and sort of said, can they use one of my patterns, I'd like to, you know, spread the word for them as well, as like give you guys a chance to join in with it if that's something you wanted to do. So that's there, so I just thought I'd mention that in case it was of any interest to you. And also bring up the fact that there's the Granny Go Large CAL as well, if any of you guys wanted to join in with that, since I featured it earlier, since I talked about it earlier. Yeah, so that's it I think for today. And looking on my little camera, it's looking like quite a long one, but I think I've got some editing to do, so hopefully it won't be too, I hope it won't be too long for you. So, but thank you for staying, thank you for sticking with me if you've stuck around for this one, for this waffly, incoherent jibber jabber. Probably used to it by now if you've been before, you know. It's no different from normal Sandra, that's what you're always like. But if you're new, I hope you managed to get through it okay. And yeah, thank you for spending time with me, and I shall hope to see you next time. Bye!